How does infidelity in relationship happen? Top 10 reasons. Hi friends, welcome to Marriage Realities, a comprehensive relationship channel. Today's video is all about the reasons behind infidelity in your relationship. Reasons for infidelity in your relationship are often varied, but the devastation it causes to your marriage is often the same. Infidelity inevitably destroys your marriage. Marry out of intense love for your spouse, and naturally have rosy dreams of a near perfect married life. That much is your expectations about your spouse. In the initial days of your marriage, your spouse more than fulfills your expectations. As days go by, the emotional distance between you lengthens and widens. Fights and arguments become frequent between you. Most of you want to be loyal to your spouse. You never dream of cheating your spouse. After all, you married your spouse because you loved him or her. But it's a harsh fact that you become completely dissatisfied with your spouse when he or she never fulfills your emotional needs. Do you know the main reason why infidelity happens in your relationship? Often, infidelity enters your marriage when you do not know the dividing line that should be in your friendship with the opposite sex. In today's modern age, you are compelled to work amongst the opposite sex. You share good friendship with them. It is all fine until you know where to stop in your friendship. Sadly, often you do not know your boundary line. When you're friendly with the opposite sex, you convince your mind that your relationship is platonic and you're doing nothing wrong in it. Also convince yourself that you're not cheating your spouse by being a mere friend to the opposite sex. The more convincing you have to do to make your friendship seem platonic, the more emotionally attached you're becoming to the other person. And emotional involvement with another person other than your spouse does not spell good for your relationship. When you feel comfortable in spending time with the other person, your relationship has stopped being mere friendliness. And when you hide your friendship from your spouse, it is a clear sign that your relationship is becoming too personal and intimate. Many a time, your platonic relationship with the other person becomes physical because of the secrecy involved in it. When you do not enjoy a good relationship with your spouse, you feel used and neglected. You literally fume with anger and resentment against your spouse. When you are unable to share your inner feelings with your spouse, your bottled up emotion seeks an outlet. This is when infidelity in your relationship happens. When the other person lends you a comfortable shoulder to lean on, you struggle to be loyal to your spouse. Shall we look at the top 10 reasons why infidelity happens in your relationship? The number one reason behind infidelity in your marriage is you feel unwanted. When your spouse does not spend quality time with you, you wonder why he or she married you at all. Often, your spouse does not interact with intimacy. Your spouse mostly talks to you as he or she would with a mere acquaintance. Initially, you feel traumatized by the unloving attitude of your spouse. Gradually, you become numb towards it. When the other person makes you feel wanted, you want to spend more time with him or her. The time you cross the line to cheat your spouse by having an affair with the other person. The number two reason behind infidelity in marriage is emotional disconnection between you and your spouse. Marriage relationship is always charged with emotions. You want your spouse to cater to your emotions. When you feel downcast, you want your spouse to extend your emotional support. When you face work-related problems, you want your spouse to boost your morale. But when there is only emotional disconnection between you, you do not enjoy emotional support from your spouse. Naturally, you feel depressed that you are unable to share your feelings. When the other person lends you an attentive ear, you're emotionally attracted to him or her. The number three reason behind infidelity in your relationship is because familiarity breeds contempt. Seeing your spouse day in and day out makes you lose excitement about him or her. Living with your spouse now becomes like watching the same movie over and over again. Nothing to feel excited about. Go to work and return home for yet another uninteresting day. You feel so disinterested in your spouse that you're utterly bored to talk with him or her. When the other person makes you feel excited to talk to him or her, you want to spend more time with that person. Inevitably, it paves way to infidelity in your relationship. The number 4 reason behind infidelity in your relationship is social media. Social media is wrecking many marriage relationships. It is now easy to become friends with the opposite sex in the social media without your spouse not having a clue about it. You chat for long hours with the other person, little realizing that you might be indulging in emotional infidelity. Emotional infidelity takes a step further and becomes physical infidelity. The number 5 reason behind infidelity in your relationship is unsupportive behavior of your spouse. When your spouse does not support you in any way, you become emotionally detached from him or her. When your spouse does not give you emotional support, you become bitter against him or her. Your bitterness against your spouse makes you store intense resentment against him or her. When the other person gives you emotional support and talks caringly to you, you forget that you're married. Your emotionally deprived mind finds solace in the arms of the other person. The number 6 reason behind infidelity in your marriage is your long-distance relationship. When you live too far away from your spouse, you feel lonely and alone. The distance between you and your spouse makes it impossible for you to stay emotionally connected with him or her. Your time is mostly spent in utter loneliness. You feel lost and alone, and so you begin to mingle with other people to do away with your loneliness. When a particular person drives away your loneliness by being witty and humorous, you spend more time with him or her. When the other person makes your loneliness disappear, it leads to unwanted infidelity in your relationship. The number 7 reason behind infidelity in your relationship is you're no longer attracted to your spouse. When you're not attracted to your spouse, you no longer want to spend time with him or her. So you spend most of your time away from your spouse. And you easily feel attracted to your colleague, friend, who is smarter and attractive than your spouse. The physical attraction you feel towards the other person ends in being unfaithful to your spouse. The number 8 reason behind infidelity in your relationship is abusive behavior. Is your spouse abusive and obnoxious in his or her behavior towards you? This makes you hate your spouse for his or her rudeness. You feel there's nothing in your relationship that you can cherish and treasure. And when the other person from the opposite sex treats you with respect, you feel attracted to that person. The number 9 reason behind infidelity in your relationship is lack of communication. As years go by, you find that you have nothing to talk with your spouse. When there is no communication between you, you have no one to share your feelings with. Just because you have ceased to communicate with your spouse, it does not mean you're totally averse to interacting with others. You do want to share your feelings with someone. When the other person listens to you, you feel listened to and cared for. And the emotional satisfaction you get from the other person makes you jump the fence. The number 10 absolutely stunning reason for infidelity in your relationship is just for the sake of variety. Modernity has robbed marriage of its many unique qualities. One such quality is loyalty. You feel that what the eye does not see, the heart does not feel. So you feel you're justified in indulging in extramarital affairs without the knowledge of your spouse. You just want variety. Whatever might be the reasons for your infidelity, it is a sure marriage wrecker. It is so easy to destroy your marriage by being unfaithful to your spouse. And the end product of infidelity is always remorse and regret. Nothing else. Will this video make you understand the many reasons why infidelity enters your relationship? Marriage Realities will have many such relationship eye-openers. Subscribe to my channel to understand your marriage in a new light. Press the bell icon for updates about my latest relationship videos. Make love forever until death do us part your relationship goal.